The microphone. As I mentioned, this is Andreas Stefanidis, who's been a good friend for a long time, and everyone has seen on the news what's going on in both Greece, Europe. I'd like you to hear from the horse's mouth, and I'd like you to ask some questions that you feel might be relevant in developing your business and seeing what we can do there. Now, just today, the speaker that we were going to have is also involved in digital media, as is Jeremy Ellenbogen, and here at 721. Well, we've now formed a connection between 721, his colleague in Athens, and hopefully, and a cousin of mine who is over in Thailand, who's tuning in this morning. Good morning, Les. And we were both named after the same person. And we now have a nexus between Thailand, Greece, and Kingston. And that's the type of collaboration we're talking about. That's the kind of business development we want to inspire and launch. So introduce yourself, tell people who you are, what you do, use the microphone. I'm going to sit for a minute.
So that was the reason for you to sit. Good morning, everyone. I had the opportunity to meet some of you before we start. My name is Andreas Stefanidis, and
Slow. We can't understand half what you say.
Okay. My name is Andreas Stefanidis, and I have the pleasure to tell you that I am an alumni of SUNY New Paltz, that I'm coming every July, and I teach 2 summer courses on the School of Business, just to remember, my university time. The last 9 years I devoted in Greece for the development of the first association of young entrepreneurs. Before 2001, we never had in Greece an association specialized on young entrepreneurs. In 2002, we did the connection of this association with the European Confederation. The main issue, it was to support the extroversion of young entrepreneurs of Greece with other European young entrepreneurs. It was at that time a very difficult initiative because in Greece, the business people, and especially the young, they're affected from their family and the parents, they're very much local oriented, not even national oriented. So it was very difficult in 2001 to explain to them why it is important to meet other young entrepreneurs outside of the country. Slowly, because also things are changing in the market, and the last year because of the crisis, the networking with other European young entrepreneurs became very important for all of them, because businesses at national level become very difficult and very competitive because big companies, they take the majority of the market share in many of the traditional industries, commerce, manufacturing, etc. So there's a lot of room for new startup businesses, mainly in the IT sector, and any innovation that they can think for new technology and green businesses as well. However, not all of them, they are capable to make collaboration with people outside of Greece, in Europe or in the United States. That's why we started several years discussing with Les, when I met him having this incubator, to see how we can accelerate the startup businesses of Greece to expand at European or international level, because now technology offers this opportunity. We are in the middle of the crisis in Greece. Probably you listen in the news what's going on right now. However, things are not so bad as the journalists used to present them. We had a very bad public debt. Almost 13% of the GDP was the public debt, the debt of the government. So we have a new government the last 10 months. So they do a great job to decrease the public expenses. And the first 6 months of 2010, they managed to do it almost 46%. They decreased the public expense, so they're doing well. We get the first installment of the loans from European Union and IMF. So we expect in September to get the second. So after they put an organization and, as I say, cost accounting to the government, now with the new year, they have to start supporting our competitiveness, because the loans from Europe and IMF are good, but we cannot as a country survive in the long run with just taking loans from other countries. We need to produce. and it is the first priority of the new government, to support the young entrepreneurs and especially the extroversion of them to be able to sell in transnational markets. From equity point of view, we have almost no support as young entrepreneurs in Greece from the banks. As I explained to Les this morning, or give me a ride from New Palace here to the meeting, some of them, they start taking loans before the economic crisis because they had a very good contract to offer services to the government. So the banks, when they see a contract with the government, it was 100% secure. They give loans to them very easily, even without collateral or with some collateral if some of them they had to offer. However, the last 1.5 years, because it was insecurity on the public sector as well because of the crisis, the bank started, put them in the corner, the young entrepreneur, and say, now I don't care if you will get the money from the government, I want my loan and the money that I gave you now. So that was one problem from the banking sector as well. Venture capital. We have the last 10 years only some venture capital, but they do not even deal with startup companies and young entrepreneurs. They want to play safe. They try to find businesses that they are already in a mature level. 15 years ago, they tried just to support business to enter in the stock exchange of Greece. Now this is not anymore very, they don't give that a lot of return to them anymore because the stock exchange is as like all the exchanges, very low. And they don't offer risk financing for small businesses. Business angels, they do not exist for the moment in Greece. So we have great ideas with a lot of people with energy and young people. We have almost 30% unemployment of youth in the country right now. So that gives you the entrepreneurial drive that those people, they can have. But we forget about banking sector, we forget about venture capital, and we have no business angels. So I think there's a great opportunity to make those people to expand their ideas globally and see if we can have a private equity in other European or other countries from United States as well. So that was a small introduction to give you the picture of Greece right now, and I'm open for questions.
Questions? Brian.
I'm Brian Ryan, Business Development Director, Hudson Valley, Technology Development. When you say you have youth unemployment and a lot of vitality, and I would imagine, as you're somewhat alluding to, that sector seems to be where innovation is coming from and business development. What is that age range, and what are you referring to?
17, 18 to 28 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That is the definition of unemployment of youth, at least for the Greek statistics and the European.
Okay. And as far as, I understand that, and you can appreciate the multi-obstacles, but what are the areas that you see that are really taking root as far as innovation? Is there anything going on specifically in technology or just science, or what are the areas, and how are they working on in developing and advancing export of those products?
Okay. First of all, we have, as you know, because I also faced that as a teacher during the summer to many students all around the world, because now in the SUNY I have students from America, I have students from Turkey, from China. In Greece, specifically, we have an excellent math level. So our universities, they have a very increased math level, and we have very good polytechnic universities. So many of them, they are specializing in technical and ICT sector. And we have brilliant entrepreneurs that they left from the country because of the obstacles that I already mentioned, and they travel all the way to California to go to the incubators of Stanford, MIT, etc., in order to find networking and support of their ideas. So we try to keep those brains for the Southeastern Europe. So to use Greece as a hub, because Greece as a market is very small for their ideas and for their business. We have almost, as a population, 11 million people. The active population is not more than 2 or 3 million people. But we have Balkan countries that they are developing above Greece. We have excellent cultural connection with them. And we have Turkey, that we are neighbors, Turkey, with 77 million people of population. So the whole region of Southeastern Europe, it's very demanding. Actually, Greece, with the problem that we already mentioned, but it's a European country with a common currency. We have euro. So that offers to the businesses that they will start there as a basis, big stability.
Any other questions? John,
Yes.
hold it, gotta talk into my ear.
Sure. Aside from the
Hold it.
hi, aside from the IT businesses you mentioned, what are some of the other companies or upstarts? What sorts of businesses or industries are they involved in?
First of all, we have a lot to say about tourism. Because as a base in the country, one of the biggest industries in Greece are tourism industry. So there is a lot of development of the existing tourist businesses. And we try to expand the tourism, not only for the summer, because everybody knows Greece about the summer vacation and the sun and the sea, because we have excellent places that we can expand the tourism operation throughout the year. This is one of the industries. Second, we have a little agriculture, and we shift also to organics, because that was something new for Greece as well. And third, we have solar energy, because we are full of sun. 300 days per year we have sun.
What about the green industry? Is there a green industry?
For the moment, the only thing, because young entrepreneurs are not so much yet involved with green industry, I see a lot of projects coming through for solar energy and also wind. Especially in the islands, we have a lot of wind. They put the big wind generators. But not young entrepreneurs. These are already established big businesses.
Hold on, gotta talk in my ear.
Hello, did I hear you use the word incubator?
Yes.
Okay. My husband's a writer and he just attended a group in Manhattan in an office building that where they give rent on a lower level to new businesses, entrepreneurs. Is that the type of incubator you're talking about?
I think Les is more specialist to answer that, but from my small experience, I want to say that incubator is not just to rent an office with low cost. That's just the minimum I can say. The most important for the incubator is to offer whatever you need on a startup phase to give emphasis on your core business. So if I am good, let's say, with digital media development, to work 24 hours for digital media development and all the accounting, bookkeeping, sales, marketing to be supported with people of the incubator. And second and most important, and let's correct me if I'm wrong, we need networks. Because without networking from the incubator itself, how we can support the incubating businesses to have customers in new markets? Because that's the power of business, to have customers, sales, and profits.
We've been through this metamorphosis of the word incubator, and the word we use in our organization is accelerator. Incubation is an old term. It was developed in the 1980s. Incubation is going through a renaissance of its own. It used to mean inexpensive office space, shared services, and access to certain types of academic research for the promulgation of intellectual property. It no longer means just that. We all have cell phones, Blackberries, iPhones, etc. that don't work all the time, but we do business from there. The business methodology has changed. Therefore, the way we groom new companies and entrepreneurs and train people to become entrepreneurs has also changed. We don't need the large infrastructure. It's no longer a requisite of doing business. Going to an office is not a requisite to be in business. And we find that here in this country, as opposed to in Greece, our largest entrepreneur demographic, to come back to your point, is between 28 and 34. Our second largest demographic of entrepreneurs is between 55 and 64. So we have some different issues. But our entrepreneurs in the 55 to 64-year-old demographic aren't necessarily destitute, not necessarily unemployed or unemployable, have some levels of expertise, a knowledge base, a Rolodex. Someone said to the other day, what the heck is a Rolodex? That made me feel very old.
It's right
But
there with the typewriter.
it's right there with the selectric typewriter. You got it. Hold on, Marcy. Talk into the ear.
I just want to share where my company is going, and I'm with the Holiday Inn, IHG, an international company, one of the largest hoteliers in the world. And we were told by our company that they expected everyone to be on Facebook, individually as salespeople, but also our hotels. And then the next push was, to build up our fan base. But the interesting thing was, I started about 8 months ago on Facebook, looked around and saw really what is capable of happening to a business on a site such as Facebook. And just the other day, because I love jewelry, I saw this sea glass company from California. Beautiful, beautiful jewelry. I would never have come in contact with this business at all, except that it was on somebody else's Facebook, and I said, well, this is pretty. The point I'm trying to say is that if I were a young Greek, the first thing that I would do if I had something to sell would be to think outside the box and where business is going to go. And if people don't say, Facebook doesn't work for me, well, most people like myself, they're shopping at, 2 in the morning. They're looking for the next political candidate at 11 o'clock when they finish their own business. But the point being for Greeks and young Greeks, and I've spent a lot of time in your country and I love it, is the fact that they don't have to be isolated from the world because it's a worldwide market. And for us local people, I really want to say something very seriously, that if you are not internet specific and if you don't have that capability, you are missing the train.
To that end, yesterday, anybody hear the Amazon announcement that they have finally started selling more online books than they had physical books? That came yesterday. Arthur. I can't reach this far. You're going to have to move. I know this is an effort. You're going to have to.
Yes, you're teaching at the SUNY system, and my question is regarding education. And Les and I have talked about this before. We, in the SUNY system, have 30 community colleges, and economic environments like this, our enrollment goes way up. And I'm just wondering what type of educational facilities do you have? Do you have a community college system, or how can a young entrepreneur, gain something from a technical school or community college and the like?
You mean in Greece?
In Greece.
Okay.
Not here. We know what's going on here.
Okay. One of the problems in Greece is, first of all, the mentality of the society from the family point of view, and also from the universities, because we have excellent universities from knowledge-based wise, but they never taught us the entrepreneurial mentality. No one, either from the family or from the university, said, you learn so many good things. Don't think after your graduation to go to the public sector or to the big corporation. You can also create something on your own. No one. So we have a problem on the entrepreneurial mindset, and also the families. They didn't give us this attitude. Very few families, they said, something, after you finish school, you can do your own business. Very few families. And as I said to Les I remember back in '96, it was like in all over the world, also in Greece, that crazy rally with the stock exchange. So we have many families all around Greece. They never knew before that rally on the stock exchange what a share was as a knowledge, and they took their savings and they invested in 1 or 2 or 3 stocks, not even a portfolio for minimizing the risk, not even a portfolio of shares. No one thought that, you know something, keep some of your savings and give it to your daughter or to your son after graduation to make a small business, a startup business. No one. If you ask them, they say, this is very risky things. We have some people in the government that they can give a job to him or her on the public sector, or he will look in the bank or in a big multinational corporation to find a job after graduation. That's it. And now some of the problem that we face is because of this mentality. Because not every startup business will succeed, that's for sure, that's statistics. If 10 they start and 2 or 3 succeed, it's enough progress for the society and especially for giving jobs to young people. Right now at European level, we have 25 million small and micro businesses. If each one of them, it is supported to get just one more employee, just one, we have no unemployment in Europe. Imagine how important it is to support small businesses. And I guess the same in the United States.
Same here. With that, Andres is going to be here. He's not going away. He's got a class to teach at 1.